but I wanted something. I missed having passion, having purpose, having something to look forward to. I missed Pam, that was this other person before she became a mom. So that was one big driver. And then also, you guys, and especially you women, I missed making my own money. I don't know if anyone can relate to that. As much as, I loved that my husband was able to work and I could be home, there was never enough money. If I wanted to go and shop and buy shoes, I was sneaking in the house with it. Just all the old games, and then I'd think about, okay, it would stress me out. So it was the combination of those two things that got me looking for something. And I thought I would start my own business. I've always wanted to start a business. I thought I'd be a consultant, and I got my master's and all this stuff to do all this stuff. But as a mom, I was way too busy, and I just couldn't think straight to okay, could I really start anything up? So, because of that, I was introduced to, actually, I'm going to be honest with you, Tupperware. Tupperware. And made it to one meeting and decided, it's not right. So if you leave here, if you're like, I never want to see that woman again.
I didn't know that.
I don't want to hear anything from Kim. I know, I don't always share that story. I'm like, Tupperware. But you know why? I really thought I could do it because I liked the product. I'm like, I could do this. I like the product. I use it. But I went to one meeting and I'm like, it didn't feel right. So I always tell people, if you go home tonight and you're like, I don't want to see her again, and you don't think about us, you don't want to do it. If you think how much you don't want to do it, you don't want to do it. But if you get home, even if you doubt and you're thinking about it, that's a good sign that you should really look at this more. Anyhow, I went to that, and then at the same time I learned a neighbor was doing this Arbonne thing, and I was airborne. I had never heard of it. I got online, like, why didn't I learn about that? Why did I learn? So anyhow, I called her at 7 o'clock the next morning, decided I wasn't doing that Tupperware thing, and I waited for her to get up, and she's like, why are you calling me so early? I'm like, all right, that Arbonne thing, can we talk about it? So I went to a meeting, and I listened, and I was intrigued. But I wasn't sure I wanted to do it long term, but I was nesting. I was ready to have that baby. I'm like, get a part-time job. And I just decided to do it. So it was a good start. It was exciting. I loved the products. Within 2 months, I got to the first level of management, and my husband was laid off right at that point. So we went from his full-time income. I was making about $60 with Arbonne. I was spending more on the products than I was making. And at that point, it was a light bulb moment. And I want you to think about this light bulb moment. If something unforeseen were to happen to you in your family, whether it be loss of income, whatever it is, something unforeseen, could you survive on the income that might go away? The answer for us was absolutely not. We were drowning. We actually had to put our house on the market. It was just a big scramble. But in a way, it was a blessing because I realized, okay, this Arbonne thing, they say it works. I don't know if it does. We didn't have anyone in this area that was successful, but there were other people, and I decided, you know what, I'm not going to question it. I'm just going to jump in with 2 feet, and that's exactly what I did. You guys, within 3 years, I promoted to the top of the company. Within that 4th year, my husband's nice corporate big-time professional salary, I blew right past him. I was working less than half the time than my husband was, and I was making, at one point I almost doubled his really nice 6 feet, I was just blowing his income away. And so it went from our plan B in my family to our plan A, and it's just been incredible. And when I share that with you, I don't say it to impress you because I grew up with nothing, so I know what it's like not to have money, and I know what that stress is like. I know what it's like to have loss of job. I know what it's like to worry about, okay, we can't afford this house. I know what that stress is. I know what that stress is. I grew up with, you can't afford, it wasn't, my parents were great, but you can't afford it. You can't get that. Oh, you don't need that. And this feeling of you just labeled, you're not good enough, you can't have it. And I am here tonight to tell you, yes, you can have it. Yes, you can have it. Is it easy? No. Would all be, you know what I mean? The whole nation would be doing this if it's simple. But is it doable? Absolutely. And I'm telling you, my job with this company is a lot easier than what I see people do on a daily basis. So that's kind of how I came into Arbonne. it changed, as you know, you can see it changed our life financially completely. But let me tell you what it changed personally. For me, as a mom, it gave me so much balance. It gave me so much purpose. I always thought when I became a mom, my purpose is to be a mom. Because you know, right, as a mom, like, there's nothing more important than that to us. And we lose sight sometimes that there really is a larger purpose out there that we can gain some balance. So it was a gift like that for me and so many women. You transform. That's what I love about this company. So I can sit here so confidently tonight and say to each and every one of you, you could either do really well financially with this. Everybody has that opportunity. And I'll explain how in a little bit. And it's your opportunity to shine brighter than you ever have. And that sounds so weird if you're not used to what Arbonne's all about. But basically, this company, while you learn to do the business, you learn to become a better you. So the more you grow, and let's face it, especially, and I always say the mom thing because I feel like we deal with a lot in the guys too, but we go through life. And every day, and I don't know if you feel this way, but I find this with I coach a lot of women, we go, you know what I mean? Like we just wake up the next day, we're busy, we're going.